How's everybody? Good. Doing okay? I'd like to say thank you to the gentleman who had written these pieces. I'm more than honored. I feel privileged, truly privileged. I've never read anyone else's work in public. So forgive me if I don't do you justice. Forgive me, but I will try. This is called All Flushed Out. Can you imagine being locked in someone's bathroom? The tap water you would have to drink. Would you feel flushed out of the world while on the John? How would you think? Would your mood become a darker hue of the walls that are light blue? Can you imagine how you would feel and some of the things you might do? As minutes become hours and hours become days, can you imagine being locked in someone's bathroom this way? Would you cry or yell in a say an 8x12? Make a cross out of tissue or pray to the higher self? Lose every bit of what's conceived as the mind. Be patient and have faith that everything would be fine. If the sink started to look like it is saying sink, would you stay above? If the bed replaced the tub, how often would you scrub? Would you wash your clothes, make a clothesline by ripping through cloth? Would a wet toilet seat be the only sign that this is pissing you off? If you were provided with a small locker and say a desk, could you make yourself a home? What if there were back-to-back bathrooms with people trapped inside and you weren't alone? You can hear voices of other people loud and clear. What if the next man's defecation polluted your air? Would you try to establish a courtesy flush so you wouldn't get as good a whiff? Welcome to the big house. All of these back-to-back bathrooms. When I look inside, what do I find them full of? I cannot say this person's name.
Sundiata.
Sundiata. I love this. People who know me know that I usually preface things and I say things. I have to say, when I went to pick poems, I asked for about 3 or 4 of them, and they said, no, you can only do 2. So these were not the only ones that I really enjoyed. They really touched me. I am a child of 15 children. My eldest brother is named James. My oldest brother is Sam. We call Jimmy the eldest because Sam spent most of his life, almost all his life, in Attica. So these meant a lot to me. This is called Screaming. Once it occurred to you that you may never love again, and your only concern becomes keeping some info yourself, away from others' judgments, things that make you feel like permanent lipstick stains on your mirror, like things you like to think no one else can see or sense. Once the residue of broken vowels in your language scares away little children and disturbs old folks, as if every moment of your time was like arthritis pain, or the threat of iodine on an open wound. Once you find yourself all alonely in the morning, mourning the innocence you felt years before, your worst nightmare could beat you into unconsciousness, only to leave you to the buzzards, only to eventually return you on, and turn you out, and turn you into a zombie who wants but cannot cry. Once you realize survival really is just another kind of unkindness in captivity, and the smiles hiding behind the lies in your eyes are like escaped convicts in a police state. Once your fury and your hate become contraband in your hell, once you finally discover the need to redefine suicide by feeding your fears some strychnine or cyanide instead of choking on some sadistic bastard's arrogance and pride, once you finally decide to abandon your addictions to all kinds of pathos, self-doubt, once you begin listening to the voices in you saying, don't just holler, don't just yell, shout. Don't just sweat or cuss. To awaken yourself from a lifestyle to habit-forming bad dreams. Just stretch out on your tiptoes, take in a fresh, deep breath, clench your fists with all your strength, and then begin to scream. Once you realize that this is where you're spending the rest of your life.
This isn't your ordinary poetry reading, is it? Welcome. Okay, now I'd like to welcome John Morning. John is my co-partner in a little series. We have a little poetry workshop that we do down at Judicial Process Commission. He's a fantastic poet.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Nathan Wheeling, your poem entitled Sometimes Stepped on My Toe. And it's entitled Sometime. Sometime I feel like a shoe. You know the kind you always wear. The one through rain, sleet, or snow that hardly ever get no air. Placed on bright and early in the morning, but not taken off until late at night. Not taken off till late at night. You know the shoes you wear to work, the ones that aren't gorgeous sight. You wore me down to the soul, like a soldier in the field, and even showed me a few things. You know the things I can't reveal. It was cold in the beginning. You only put your foot down once or twice, but I think this might be it. after what you pulled the other night? At first I didn't know what to do, but man, you just stepped in some shit. And even though I feel like a shoe, I think it's about time for me to split. Thank you.